You know what a clean bench means? New seat. Nick's gonna be a happy camper because he's probably pissed off at me like everybody else. Today, we are making a custom Harley-Davidson, well, we're customizing a Harley-Davidson and we're using Louis Vuitton pocketbooks, right? Funny part is, I started this whole video, my entire point of this video was because someone pissed me off because you can't be a man, right? They're like saying manly things and doing manly stuff. You seem like you're always offending someone or getting pissed off. So I started this video off and then go, I'm making a seat out of a purse. And everything I said, we can't even say because it would be wrong. This is cool though. This is really neat. It's just a coincidence and it wasn't any pun intended. Here we go. This is the tour pack. I like these tour packs because they're not the curly ones. The curly ones are a bitch to make and keep them not wrinkly. Seat cover taken off, right? Boom, backrest, little flapper on the bottom. Hides your wiring, hides that gap between the seat. We might do something custom on here if we have enough material. I like it when it flows together, but sometimes it's nice to leave this alone and just hide the shit underneath there and pretend it doesn't exist. So that's that. That's, oh, I need this. I don't need this. This is the seat cover, right? Pre-stamped. Dielectric stitch. See that? It's all fake. Fake stitching. It's a big stamp. You used to see this like on the Kawasaki Suzukis back in the 80s. It's good for if your seat's gonna get wet a lot because there's not real stitching on there. To me, it's stupid. I don't like dielectric shit. I like real shit. Stitching on your seat. Stuff that looks cool, that's done by a person. So get that shit out of here. I'm assuming Nick is tall. I have something written down on there that says 6 foot 10 inches, but I didn't clarify it, but it would make sense to what we're doing on this seat. He wants to go back 3/4 of an inch, but doesn't want to go down, right? That's what you do for a taller rider on a Harley-Davidson. If you slam yourself down in the seat, push back, it's cool. You feel cool. You sit in the bike. Everybody that we do it for is like, oh yeah, I feel like a little guy now. I'm sitting in the bike. I can maneuver it. It's not top heavy, except for the problem is your fucking knees are touching the top of the tank and your handlebars, unless you have ape hangers. It doesn't help. It looks cool. It feels a little better. Some people love it. Some people prefer that over reality. Reality is you're taller, up and back. The higher up, the further back you go. The downfall is you're over the windscreen, hitting you in the face, beating you up. You're too tall. The girl or passenger behind you is too short. They can't see. Ba ba boom. Doesn't work. It's very specific what we have to do when we do this. That's why we talk to you guys about what we need to do. If we don't, you're gonna get a seat that's not gonna work for you. Nobody's happy. We want you happy. And that's why we're always behind, because we have to talk to people. We actually have to communicate. I just spit all over my hand. We have to communicate because we have to do this for you. Extra time. It's not just making the seat, it's talking to the people, doing that, which is a bitch to do when we're behind and we're finally almost caught up. And I just want to get everybody's seats to them and good and everybody happy. Feel that stress level? Stressed out. We're gonna have to go up in our prices and we're gonna have to hire someone to sit there and answer phones all day long just to tell people we're working on it. We're trying to get it done. Answer emails, answer calls. I didn't want to do that. I don't want to do that because when people don't know what the hell they're talking about and you email you back, you're like, this person's an idiot. I'm not gonna have a seat done by them because they're a moron. They want to talk to me usually and I want to give them the right answer. And for some reason, hiring people, they're all idiots. Maybe it's just a Northeast thing. Maybe it's worldwide. Maybe it's 2025. People might just be stupid up here. They don't pay attention. They're idiots. And I don't want idiots talking to you, telling you the wrong thing. Answering their phone saying, oh, you have a Honda Davidson? You know, we've had people that work here. They don't know the difference between a Kawasaki and a cat. They're just stupid people. And that's what you want talking to you. So instead, you're gonna have to deal with me taking a long time so that I could talk to you and we give you what you want. If you don't want it, there's a million hacks out there that will lie to you, bullshit you, and give you a general seat that you're not gonna be happy with. So enough talking. With this, I'm using this as an example of what a motherfucker this is to do and why. I love doing this. To me, it's a challenge. I love challenges. Challenges take time. Challenges make you have to stop and think and pay attention. Because if you don't, you only have one shot. If I mess this up, I don't think he has another purse like this, so I don't know how we're gonna do this if you mess up, and we can't mess up. What everybody thinks, and I know what everybody thinks, is like, oh look, it looks like it's big enough to just throw on there, make a design, and bada bing. Probably is. This one actually looks pretty cool. This one might actually work, and we have a little bit of extras. What I wanted to say probably won't work with this, because I'm thinking this one's gonna do the trick. And once we pull the stitching off here, we'll have a big piece of material. Some of the problems that we usually run into, which people don't realize, if I make it for this side, it has to be equal on the other side. You know, people say that about their kids. If you give to one, you have to give to the other, because if you have one good looking side and the other stupid side, it's not gonna work. So what we'll do is we have to pattern this and make it symmetrical. And it is a challenge because this material, believe it or not, when you actually fold it in half, a lot of times, these little doohickeys don't line up. It's really weird. I don't know if it's just a knockoff stuff, because most of the time when we get a Louis Vuitton bag or clothes or something to do on this, it's smaller and cut up. This is a nice example. Usually what I start doing is I grab a razor blade. We're just gonna cut this thing up into pieces and see what we have for pattern materials. Oh, the whole point of this video is super excited, right? Amongst all my stress of not being allowed to be a man and say manly things and do shit, we met a really cool new supplier, which I'm super stoked about. So stoked that I held all these seats up and everybody's all pissed off at me now. I've been looking for a really good quality leather, and we have a few suppliers that are really good that we work with, and I like their stuff. I wanted a specific leather for this one, and what was funny is at the same time, we had a company reach out to us that wanted us to do a video for them on leather. And I wanted to do it for them, but the problem is I don't think it would have been a good video because I don't like pushing products that I'm not really confident with. As I was doing this, Albert from Eureka Leather reached out to me and started talking and realized he's a supplier of some of the guys that do really high-end seats. And I love his leather. Started shooting the shit and I told him what I was looking for and he nailed it. He pulled out a piece of material, which I'm gonna grab because I don't have it here. So I told him the leather that I wanted to use and he told me he has this, right? When we got it, it was, actually I like it better than the shit that I sent him. This has a really nice grain pattern. It's thicker, but soft and supple. It's really nice stuff. So I'm super stoked to do this seat out of it. And seeing as it's a Louis Vuitton seat and a match with this leather, I kind of wanted to do something a little bit nicer. And so we're doing this. We're also doing our next video with this, and we're doing a king queen chopper seat. I'm excited about that one as well. I know he's excited too because he's also probably pissed at me and wants his shit. Guess what? My wife always says when I pick a restaurant, I picked a restaurant with nobody in it because I don't want to wait. What do you get with a restaurant with nobody in it? Shit. Shitty food, shitty service, and it's always the same thing. Us, you gotta wait because we're not gonna cut corners. You'll hear me say it. I'm not gonna rush through someone else's seat just to get to your seat, just like I wouldn't rush through your seat to get to someone else's. See, sometimes when I'm working and talking, I forget what I'm saying. So let's cut this thing open. We need to see exactly what we have to work with here, right? So I'm going through, and I'm just gonna rip all these seams out, and if you have a seam ripper and you like those things, you could use those. I've been using razor blades forever. If you are an idiot and you're prone to accidents and staying away from sharp objects, then don't fucking use it. Don't be an idiot. You know how stupid you are and you know how smart you are. So these are the little things we have to do. So with the pocketbook, this one is working out good because it's one large piece of material, which is very rare. Usually it's a bunch of pieces put together. We always have to go through and you have to take the inside of these things apart. They started to take some of it apart, which is great. And I love doing this stuff because like some of the things you'll find, like we've done seats out of, actually, Jose. I don't know if Jose watches this, hopefully not, but what's funny is one time, he's a good customer, so he came in with a trench coat and he's like, I want you to make my seat out of this trench coat. And it was like totally like something from the 80s. So I go like, what's this? Like the first coat you ever got laid in? And he says, well, actually, so we made him a motorcycle seat out of it, which I thought was very funny. And he loved it. And a couple of years later, we had to redo it because the jacket wasn't the best quality. And sometimes over years, the materials age and it didn't really like the sunlight much. All right, my friends, this is the time within our videos where we have to give a little shout out to the people who help our industry, who give us what we need to make things get done. I was very excited talking with Albert. He is a very knowledgeable man on leather. I am super excited. I told him I was excited. I'm like, what kind of person gets excited over getting leather? Well, some freaks do, but us motorcycle seat guys, we really do too. It's not just leather. Look at that. It's goodies too. We got some swatches. We have sample cards, more swatches. I love it. 916-670-4700, EurekaLeather.com. I highly recommend his products. This here is what I'm really stoked about. This is really nice. Albert is on point. I would tell you our complete transaction and talking to Albert and what he did, but I wouldn't want to put him under the bus where people would expect this. But I would have to say I am very impressed with his attentiveness. Just all around great experience, a good person, good company. Oh my Lord, this leather is nice. This is some nice stuff here. I sent him a picture of what I was interested in, and this is actually even nicer than what I was imagining. It is a nice feeling leather. Who doesn't love the smell of leather? I know that was weird. Eureka Leather, 916-670-4700. Albert is a good dude, great products. Check him out. Back to the video. All right, it's all cut up, right? These are the two pieces that were on the other side of the welt. We don't need this garbage. We don't need that garbage. We are left with actually a good amount of material. Oop, I didn't cut the backside of this off yet, but if you look at it, we'll be able to probably do something good up front, something good in the back. He did say something, he wants something on the sides. So we might be able to do that because we have quite a bit here. We'll do some little zinger over there, which would be kind of cool. I'm looking at this strap. What I'd like to do, you know, it's like you could do it like this, right? Bada boom. Have this go across here. It sucks because of the length. I might be able to pull this over. Yeah, I could probably pull this over because I'd want this centered. You want this kind of like centered, right? Something like that. I actually would like to do this front to back. I thought this would look kind of cool. Just have this like kind of like the Ferraris where we'd come down it. But you can't have that up your ass, and you don't want that on your balls. So we'd have to move this way up here so it's not pressing on your balls. And then this would come across, and we still could probably do that. So I might do that. The downfall is sometimes it would be easier for me to just start from scratch than reuse this because I could just take the leather and stitch it on there. This leather here already has thread in it. So I could pull all that thread out and then re-stitch through every fucking hole. And I just really don't feel like doing that because I would rather just make it from scratch. But then again, it's Louis Vuitton, right? This came off a Louis Vuitton purse, not an Eddie Barrett purse. And Louis Vuitton has a well-known name for doing what he does, and I don't. I'm just some fucking seat yahoo. So how can I do this? If I stitch this in here, oh, I know how we could do it, which we could still make this work, actually. So I'm thinking if I actually stitch this to a black piece of leather in the middle, right? Have no sew foam in there, then do a 1/2 inch sew foam on here. That would actually dip down into that. So then you have it elevated. I could probably do a stitch on the side of it, which is going to be tedious, but I want this way the fuck up here. So if we take this belt out, right? This is the stuff you have to think about, right? This moves, which is good. You got to think about this. I mean, because form meets function. Yeah, you can make something look cool and the person gets it and then they can't ride their bike. We don't want that. We want them to be happy. So we're going to choke this up a little bit, and then we'll have to move this guy down here. We'll have to fix that. That's kind of better, right? So we'll do that. We can fix that so that stays permanently there. Keep this up here. Although if he's all that much bigger than I am, you know, it's still gonna touch your balls. Still gonna touch your balls. So that's not gonna work. If we did this here, that would look like shit. That'd be in your back. Man, I really want to do this here, but I also don't want Nick's balls in pain every time he rides his bike because that probably would not be enjoyable. Because you think about your butt cheeks are gonna be here. He's moving back a little bit. Man, I just don't want to take that chance. It would look bitchin' though. It would look really cool. It would look really cool to have that on there like that. Or we need to have that down. Oh, do you know what I could do? We could actually do that, cut this foam out and recess this in. So then this is in lower, so there would be no pressure there. It's right where the hole is for the seat mount. I think we're going to try this because I think this might be kind of cool that way, right? Black down the middle, black real nice leather down the middle, this down the middle, and then Louis on both sides, and then a little splash here, and then we just have to throw something together for the backrest with some tan stitching. Although, fuck, you know what's going to suck too is when this comes across here, when you do your top stitch, this is going to look like shit because you can't really skive it because it has stitching on it. Unless I sculpt this and have this go over, down inside the backrest hole. I hate doing. Oh, this would be here. So this is gonna be way the hell up here. This would come down here, up here, back in here, and then out to there, and all recessed in there. I think we're gonna do a little experimentation on this seat and see what happens. So let me cut this back off, bada boom, and then we're gonna go start patterning this thing and have a little fun. I got the seat seat cut back. One of the problems we're having right now on, especially the 2025, this new seat configuration, as soon as you pull the bracket off, the bracket, underneath it, it's all cracked and messed up. This one here, we just took the bracket off. It's completely cracked. There's plastic missing. This is happening a lot. I mean, it's like something that possibly they should probably recall because if this is this tab that holds your seat on and everyone is cracking like this, that's not good. This must be, the plastic has to be too hard and too brittle. What I'm gonna do is we're gonna pattern the seat now because that's the momentum we're in, but before I put the cover on, I'm gonna have to put this together and plastic weld it, and hopefully we can get this thing to look nice and fit. It's just kind of irritating because these are brand new seats. They shouldn't be cracked. It's just crazy. But you can see we cut it back 3/4 of an inch right to here. We still got our little flap. Let's go pattern it. I jumped ahead and did a bunch of thinking. I don't want you sitting here staring at me thinking because you sons of bitches slow me down and I need to get shit done. sometimes I'm like, we're stopping the videos completely. But then we get a lot of work from it, a lot of people interested in it, and I'm hoping that we get more people that want to do this for a career, which brings me to a point where you've heard me say this before. If you want to get into this field and have fun and do it on your own shit, watch our videos, try it out, have fun. But if you want to do it for real and be a professional, apprentice at a shop. Trust me, it's the best thing you could do because you will learn so much. What ends up happening is a lot of people are trying this stuff out themselves or in their backyards, in their sheds, whatever they're doing, and their work sucks. And if you worked at a shop, you would learn so much because the first jobs you do are so important. They kind of set your trajectory of where you're going. If you do shitty, cheap work, people are going to expect shitty, cheap work for the rest of your life. If you work at a shop, you apprentice, you get really good, and for some reason you decide to go off on your own because you're a moron and decide to start your own company up, then you will do your first job and it'll be professional, and everybody after that will be like, wow, they do good work, and that's what you pay for. So please, if you're going to do this for a career, go apprentice at a shop with like a master upholsterer so you learn a lot. Now, back to this motherfucking seat. I've been going through figuring this out, right? And we're scrapping here. We're scrapping together. Originally, I put this piece here, and I go, you know what? Oh, let me spin this so you can see it. So this is the pattern we're going to do for rhyme and reason. Originally, I was like, we'll put this here. This one will make it. It'll just, this one will make it like this. So we can make it with this like this, which will leave us literally this much, which will be that short. This much should work for this. And then this piece here will work for the back. And then hopefully we have enough material left to do the two sides. So I think that'll kind of throw it together. I'm not doing the strap over the top here because it won't be centered. And if you don't center this, it's gonna look like dog shit. If you put this here over the strap and you center it, this is short, right? So I could do a thing where you tuck it underneath the seat and it goes in behind it. I don't really think that would look good. We could bring this down here and have the strap over here. I think that'll look stupid. We're gonna do it the way I originally wanted to do it. So what we'll do is we're gonna have this here, right? This is gonna stop here. This will go to here, which is gonna give us enough for the back. This will be here, which will give us enough for the front, or the backrest, hopefully. Hopefully, and if it looks good, we're fucking golden. If it doesn't, I don't know what the hell we're gonna do because we don't have another Louis Vuitton seat. We're really running out of options of what we could do. I was thinking about putting another tan stitch in here and throwing that together, which we might still do that. So this is, yeah, we're gonna do that. So this is gonna be the strap, bada boom in the middle. This will be black leather, Louis, black leather, same thing in the front. But I think what I'm gonna do is we are going to do maybe a double stitch right here. So this will be with a tan. And I think it will look nice. And we'll do the same thing here. We're just gonna run this around here. And this will be a double stitch. Not double Dutch, double stitch. Okay, let's get to patterning. Let's see what we gotta do here. I'm gonna cut this apart, lay out the patterning. I will show you the pattern all done, but I'm not gonna show you how I cut the shit out. I have the Louis Vuitton patterned out, right? That's probably really fucking loud, sorry. I couldn't do what I wanted to do in the front here because you need to allow a little bit of extra material for the salvage, and because sometimes shit happens. You know, we're adding quarter-inch sew foam and half-inch sew foam on this seat, so there might be it's gonna lift it up so the sides are gonna be there, so it's actually gonna get really close. I was able to put the front, this is the front section there, and this is the rear section, and it's really close. The rear section is gonna be very, very close. I'm gonna cut it out. We're gonna pray that it works. I know I'm gonna have to add some black leather on the bottom, but that's under the seat. You won't see that, and I could not put it here because we needed 7 inches for here, right? I actually need, yeah, it's actually 7.5 plus 3/4, so 8 1/4, and we only have 6.5 here. And that would be allowing no extra for the front, which I should always leave a little extra for the front. We were lucky, I trimmed the back down a little bit so it's not as big, and now we have the rear cushion, the rear passenger seat, as well as the backrest for the tour pack on here, and those will make it. Oh shit. Front, back, top, bottom. So we're gonna make sure the pattern is going in the right direction. I just set this on here. to do a test. So we're going to have to do, see, this is where it bites you in the ass. So we're going to have to do here, and then I'm going to have to move this one down. Because you want the pattern going in the right direction, and I need to allow for a little bit for the backrest to go under the seats, and we want our 3/8 of an inch allowance. So now you can see here it doesn't seem like a lot, but we got to add 3/8 here. I don't know if you can see that, hopefully. We have to add 3/8 here, 3/8 here, right? So this is going to come here, and then we add 3/8 here, which leaves us about 3/8 between those pieces touching. Now, yes, you could take this and put this sideways. If you don't care and you are ghetto and you want this sloppy-ass looking seat, you could just randomly pattern these things wherever you want and put it on the seat, and people will be like, oh, wow, look at your seat. But anybody who gives a shit is going to look at it and be like, hey, why aren't they going in the right direction? Or why don't you have a consistency front to back? And those are the people that you give a shit, because those are the people that respect what we do and what you have, and you want what you have to be worth it, right? Hopefully, I think so. Am I right? So now I got to pattern out the leather and add our sew foam, sew it together. I think that's it. That's all I'm going to fucking show you guys today. The rest, you're going to have to wait. We'll show you the seat when it's done in like 30 seconds from now. But other than that, you got to have to fucking watch another video to learn, because I need to get this shit done. We are on the home stretch with this seat. Thank you, Albert. You saved our ass. I'm telling you, without this leather being so perfect and so nice, I probably would have fought even harder to do this seat. I still have to steam it and go through and finish it up, but I wanted to end this video because everybody's up my ass right now. You know, the reason why I said thank you, Albert, is this Louis Vuitton material was the worst. It's very hard, very stiff, not flexible. It's slippery. So when you try to do top stitches and roll the edges over, it just doesn't want to work with you. And I was really scared because a lot of times when you use leather, you roll it around, you go to stitch it, and it's so hard, it's really hard to work with. But this was like the perfect texture, the perfect thickness, and it was soft. So the sewing machine actually like went through it nice, and it actually allowed us to do a better stitch. This leather is so nice, I could see doing this on every single motorcycle seat for the rest of my life. It's that nice. It's really nice stuff. It works nice. It's totally different than using vinyl. So people who have done this know that when you use vinyl, if you get used to using vinyl, it's easier. Or if you're always using leather, it's easier because they do different things. Leather stretches a lot in different directions, and so you got to compensate for that. So you have to sometimes make your patterns a little smaller so you can stretch it a little tighter. More vinyl, you work a little different. Eureka Leather, check them out. It's excellent stuff. I can't wait to do the next seat in it. And that video, I'm hoping we could give you a little bit more detailed. But unfortunately, we are at that point where it's getting crazy again. And as much as I'd love to be able to have a bunch of people working here and doing seats, I don't have the ability to train anybody because we have to do your shit and get it out. We might do an apprentice thing in the future to get someone in here and kind of teach them and train them if they want to get into this career, because I tell you, if you do, you'll be really excited, because when you do cool stuff, it feels really good. It feels really good to do nice stuff. And I think the world's missing that. Everybody's on their phones scrolling through stuff, looking at big boobs and guys getting kicked in the nuts and people farting. And it's not conducive to building cool stuff. You know, you really need to get off your phones and do stuff. You know, if you're using this for educational purposes, great. If you're using this because you want a cool seat or you want something cool done, that's what we're here for. Trying to help out the younger men and women get involved in this trade is like super important to us. That's it. That's it. That's it. I'm trying not to swear. This was a lot of swearing. I'm glad I didn't film me making the rest of the seat because it was a lot of swearing. This Louis Vuitton just broke my stones every second of the way. And I have this last piece to make. We're going to staple that on. We're going to steam everything. We're going to clean everything, do our photo shoot. You go on Instagram, go on Facebook, take a look at it. Hope you like it. Please remember, like, share, follow, subscribe, ring the bell. Appreciate you guys.